We are so excited to be here today as this is the first episode of The Global Dentist. We all know that immigration as a dentist to any country can be very challenging. So, Rata and I are here to demystify the journey and learn more about the dental career in the US together. Today, we are going to go over our separate journeys and the things that we wish we knew when we first got started. So, Rata, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you here?
Thank you, Sadaf. So, first of all, I graduated about 2 years ago, December 2021, when I was in Iran. And after that, I worked a little bit, just about 9 months or something, in clinics in Iran. Most of my patients were pediatric patients because I really wanted to become a pediatric dentist. So, from that time, I was working on improving my CV. Also, I was preparing myself for different exams like TOEFL, IMD, and those big challenges that we had. And it was the time that actually I found you and I met you when we were practicing for TOEFL speaking part, and
Yeah.
I was so happy that I actually found you.
Same.
So
So, yeah, those were really some memorable times. But after your exam, you also started working and exploring research. So, what was it that drew you to AI and digital dentistry?
So actually, when I was in middle school, I worked, and the whole research was about digital dentistry. I started with working with CAD CAM in dentures, and after that, I found that all science is just moving towards AI. So I started working on that, and I had some systematic reviews when I was in dental school, and I improved my CV because I wanted to move to the US as a researcher. So I wanted to find a research position, so I improved my CV just for research. And then I worked more about AI. I had a affiliation and position in WHO ITU group that it was AI in healthcare. That really helped me that time because just by that affiliation I got my interviews in the US. And
Amazing.
that time, the all transition to the US, I moved to Boston as a researcher, and the school that I was working, actually, it was a medical school. It was not dental school. I'm telling this because many people are asking if actually dentists can find research position. I think it's good if you just want to move to US at the first step. You can go to medical schools or all labs that you think that you can work there, and they help you to improve your CV.
That's amazing because I honestly did not know that as a dentist, you can even apply to medical schools for a research position. And I believe many people only apply to dental schools, which obviously are more limited on the research aspect than the medical schools are. So uh, I'm really glad that you told me because that's something new that I learned
Yeah.
right now. So, how was it that you found yourself in Boston?
So at first it was hard, but I was in Boston as a researcher, so my visa type was J1. That actually, I think we have an episode about visa types in the US, so people would know how the route is for them and everything. But it was a really exciting chapter for me because the first 2 months that I got to the US, I wanted to take my IMBD, so I was just studying for that before going to the lab and after going to the lab. And after that, I wanted to take, GRE and ATET too. So I was just studying and working in the lab.
Oh.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of things at the same time. I can definitely relate to that one. So, how was it where you're working in a research lab and doing clinical studies in Boston? What were the things that you learned in that process?
So the good thing about Boston University was that I actually was working in a clinical study. So I had some patients, most of them, they were kids that they had a specific syndrome. So that was really helpful for my CV because I was going to apply for pediatric dentistry. And the good part was that I could tell them, okay, I'm talking to kids in the US, so I can communicate with them. And also, communicating with people, for us that we just moved to, US, we are afraid of talking to people and communicating. It was a really good part. And I want to tell something about that. Usually when people are talking about the stories, they would say, oh, I had that problem, I was not good at that part. Those are just my weaknesses. But actually, our role in our life for interviews actually is to, pop out those good things and talk about them and put them on our CV, so people would see, okay, she really wants to be pediatric dentist because she was working with kids, changing the scenario and everything to show them that actually we want them. So I was doing that, after I was working in medical school, and I knew that it's better to work and, do research in dental school because you can find your connection, you can network with people, people would know you, when you are applying. So those committee would say, okay, I've seen her in this dental school, I've seen her working, I've seen her shadowing. That time that I was in Boston, I shadowed into pediatric clinics. That was really helpful because I was helping them. I was seeing how they would talk to kids. I was seeing the new materials, new techniques, and everything because they might ask. And I was just preparing myself for interviews and being a pediatric dentist in the US.
That's amazing. Yeah, so as you said, it's very important to showcase what you have. Never minimize yourself. Don't exaggerate about your skills
Yeah,
and your knowledge, but don't be afraid of talking about them. Don't be afraid of showing your strengths,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
And that's very important. So you did get some shadowing experience in Boston, which I believe is really, really helpful, especially because from between Iran and the US, the materials, the techniques, the approaches can be very, very different. So, do you recommend shadowing to everybody?
So I was on J visa, and on J visa you cannot work outside of your lab. So I was
Mhm.
just shadowing and observing. I couldn't work, but I think if somebody can, actually work in a clinic, observe, not just observe, be an assistant or something, it would really help them because, during my interviews they asked me, so why you didn't, help them, why you were not assistant or something. And I told them, okay, I'm on J visa. And I didn't like say, oh, I'm so sorry that it was like that.
Yeah,
I tried to show it, okay, I tried my best, as I had some option, and I used all of my options in the best way that I could.
that's
So I think if somebody can do that, it's perfect to do. Even if you have time on weekends, just go to a clinic, ask people, go in person, email them, call them, different clinics, in every city or state that you are in, you can find it might
right.
be, I think from one of the clinics that I was shadowing there, I had to be like, it was from my place, it was 1 hour and a half or something.
Oh,
So I
wow.
think we can do, you have
Yeah,
to find it and just do the
just
hard
do
work.
it. And then after Boston, you found yourself in Alabama. So, why did you decide to move to Alabama, and how did that process go for you?
So I was working in medical school, and I knew that if I want to be accepted in residency and be matched, I need to be in dental school. So I was searching, like I think from the third month that I was in the US after I passed my board, I was just looking for different positions, different researchers. And actually I was not looking for open position. I was just emailing every researcher that I know in pediatric dentistry and also ortho, because I thought, okay, if I can find something in ortho, it's a bit more related to,
Yeah,
kids to working just in medical school. And I found my supervisor here, and we had an online interview, and she told me that you can come. And then I moved to Alabama for that because she was a pediatric dentist here, and she really helped me because I thought it's better to have that working in pediatric department in my CV.
of course. I believe that a lot of listeners will have this question that did you have to change your visa type or your paperwork in order to move from Boston University to Alabama?
So I'm still on my J visa, but when you are going to, transfer from one school to another, they would just transfer your papers. It's kind of like you have a paper kind. It's DS that for F1, F students, it's
Mhm.
I-20. For J students, it's DS form, and they would just transfer it from one school to another school, and it's really fast and easy process for people.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
great then. So if you are already in the US on a visa and you just want to change your school, you don't have to go out of the US, apply again through the embassy. You just have to ask them to change
Yeah,
this.
exactly. So
This.
now I'm in the process of changing my J visa to F visa. And actually, a lot of people think that when you are going to change the type of your visa, not just school, like from J to F, you have to leave the country. I think
Mhm.
for some countries, you have to leave the country, but for Iran and a couple of countries, you can stay in the US and just change it.
Oh, that's
And
great.
we have a good episode about that. And if you don't know, actually, you have to leave or not, we are going to
Talk
talk
about
in a couple
visas.
of weeks.
Okay, that's amazing. So, what is the main focus of your research in Alabama right now?
So I'm continuing work on artificial intelligence and AI in early childhood caries and pediatric patients. And also I'm going to, present something in IADR in 2 weeks. And it's
Oh,
about,
wow.
yeah, chatbots in pediatric dentistry. So it's kind of just about chatbots and AI here. Also, I've been working with some like S mutants and lactobacillus too, but mostly it's about AI.
AI in dentistry. That's amazing. So, honestly, your dedication is so inspiring. Like the you didn't move to the US long ago, right? How long have you been in the US right now?
I think about just 1 year and 5 months or something. Yeah.
Exactly. Like it's not even 2 years, and you already managed to do all these, do research in Boston, do research in Alabama, and you want to tell the good news about your match?
So yeah, on January 22nd, I got matched, and oh my god, it was such a good day. I can remember the feeling that I got my email from Match, and that time I didn't know that they actually send emails to people who didn't get matched. And I thought, okay,
Oh,
you got the email, so you are matched. And then I opened the email that and saw that okay, you got matched to pediatric dentistry to my first, top rank, and I was super happy. I wish everyone that wants that would, experience that feeling one day soon.
I know. It's amazing. And what is the school that you're actually going to get us started on pediatric
Yeah, I'm
dentistry?
going to Loma Linda.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
That's
much.
awesome.
Thanks for
I'm so
all your help and support during that time. I can remember I was just calling you, set up. What should I tell if they ask me that?
No, you did amazing. I had no doubts that you're gonna get accepted.
Thank you so much.
Knowing you for only a year and a half, I had no doubts.
Thank you so much.
So during that time, I know it's a lot to juggle, a lot to go through, but you kept building your CV, seeking opportunities. How did you handle all this?
So I can remember one of my friends tell that, usually when people they are in a really difficult process, they're waiting for something, they would think, what if I'm doing this and that thing doesn't happen? So I just changed my mind to, okay, Rata, you have to go through all these, and what if these small steps actually are helping you to, achieve your goal and get the things that you really want to. So I think that mindset helped me. And also I had a really good friends that I was searching in Reddit, Facebook, every platform that we have, and I could find some dentist. And I was just working. If I was super stressed out, I just wanted to work more so I would not think about that. But the process is a waiting game. You have to wait. There is no escape from that. You have to wait. Yeah.
True. And how did you find the mentor or the supervisor that you are working with right now?
So I was searching school by school. Like I went through school's website. If they have some like research tabs, I would check them, see their like projects that I have, the supervisor that are actually working. So if I had the feeling that okay, I like their field, I would email them. I would find their email on the school website, or also I would search their name and find them in PubMed or something. Sometimes if you cannot find their emails in the website, you can just search their name on PubMed or any publication, and you can find their emails in their publications, especially in their PDFs. I tried that, and I emailed, I think, I don't know how many, but I sent many emails to people that I thought they were really good in my field, and I thought that they can help me. So I got a couple of interviews with people that they liked my CV too. I sent them emails. I told them I'm interested in working with you. I said, okay, I have that background, and I think we have a good path together. We would have that path together. And I attached my CV and I asked them, if you have time, I would love to have a meeting with you to talk about opportunities. And then some of them they replied and told me that we don't have any open positions. I'm just leaving my lab. We don't have any labs here. And there were some of people that they told me, okay, I love your CV. Can we have a quick meeting and quick interview? And we talked. Yeah.
Okay. And if you don't mind me asking, how many people like actually responded to your email? Like how hard was it to email all these people? Some of them I know will never respond. Some of them will reject your request. How hard was that process?
So I can remember that like 8 a.m. every day I was sending emails, and sometimes after 2 hours or something, people were just responding and telling that actually your CV is not related to my
Mhm.
field, so we cannot work. And
Right.
it was sad. And I was just, I think from IMBD till my ADAT exam, I was sending emails to get positions. So I had to study hard. It
Yeah.
was so, it was so bad because I had to manage my mind. Okay, Rata, you have to study. I think everyone that wants this path are actually in the past and they want to transition from that, they would have those feelings. So I think you have to just go on. And I think I had a couple of interviews, like I think I had 10 interviews, 5 till 10, I'm not actually sure, but there were many people that told me we are not available, or I don't have those reasons, I don't have lab, your CV is not related. And yeah.
Yeah, the reason I ask that is I know so many people that email 10 people and then when they get rejected, they just give up. They're like, "Oh, this is not happening." But that's really not how it works. You have to keep consistent. You have to keep trying. Email as many people as you can. Don't email people randomly that are not related to the field that you work with. Don't
Yeah.
like spam people's
Yeah,
inbox.
exactly.
But find a specific supervisors or mentors that you really know that you can add and contribute something to their program and to their research, and reach out to those people. If you have really done your research about who you're reaching out to, they will be more than happy to work with you.
Exactly. And there's something that really helped me during that process, that I was thinking, okay, Rata, you just need one supervisor. And when you are waiting for that one supervisor, you can get a lot of rejection. I don't know, if you are sending 100 emails, you might get 99 rejections. So if you are getting those, don't worry, because just remember that you need just one position. So, just repeat it. That really helped me because I was so worried. And every time that I got one rejection or email that they said they cannot help me, I was like, okay, doesn't matter, you need just one position. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, just keep going.
Yeah.
And how many publications did you have before you even moved to the US when you started applying?
So the time that I was actually finding some position, I think I had just two papers in Iran, but I had a couple of papers that they were like I submitted them, but they were not accepted. I think I had 5 projects ongoing that time. But the thing is, I emailed when I was in Iran. I emailed a lot of people, and also told everyone that I knew in the US that if you found any positions in your school or in your lab, please just let me know. That
Yeah,
actually really helped me to find a position, because I was emailing, but I couldn't find anything. But some of like a person that I knew texted me and told me that, okay, we are going to have a position in our lab. Do you want to? So if you want to, just email the supervisor. And I did that, and they actually liked me, and I could get that position. So I think you should ask everyone that you think they are doing research in the US to see, because every time that I'm across in their labs, I would see some papers that they say we need a, like, I don't know, postdoc or researcher or something. So that might help too.
that's true. That's true. I feel like in a lot of countries, there's a mindset of scarcity where, like, if I'm doing something, I don't want to tell anybody because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to succeed or if I'm going to fail. What if they judge me? But I feel like in the US, there's more a mindset of abundance.
Yeah,
So the
exactly.
more you tell people, the more people will know how to help you.
Yeah,
And that really helps a lot. Everybody wants to help you if they know what you're looking for. So just keep telling people what is your goal, what do you want to achieve, and let them help you.
exactly.
Okay. Is
Okay.
there anything that you want to add
I
to
think
your
I'm
story?
done, and I'm really excited to hear your story and know more about the process that you had.
Absolutely. So I also did my dental school in Iran, as you know, and then I moved to the US about 2 years and like 4 months ago, maybe. And I started my journey in the US with an MBA program.
So, why did you decide to do an MBA? Because I haven't seen a lot of people. I think I just know you that did MBA and then did, her dental school.
True, yeah. Not many dentists, I guess, go to business school, but when I was working in Iran after graduation, that amount, like that time of experience, helped me realize how important management is for success of any practice, any work. The clinical part of dentistry is something that is the most straightforward. We have all been trained in, we learn about it for many, many years. We practice it in so many different ways. But when it comes to management of the resources, whether that is financial resources, people, equipment, we don't learn anything. When we come out of the dental school, it's like we are lost in a world that you have to be the boss of the practice, you have to be the clinical dentist, and you have to be the good leader that keeps everyone together. So that's what I wanted to learn from my business program, and it really helped me a lot. I know that many people don't choose to do that because obviously you can learn a lot of these things by experience, but I wanted to have the official education, I guess.
Yeah. How difficult was it, going through MBA education and, I think you didn't have any background in business or something like that.
No, I definitely did not have a background in business. As you know, in Iran, we go straight to dental school from high school. So we start a dental program when we were 18. We don't do a bachelor's degree. But I truly enjoyed it. It was very, very different. But the dean of the business school at University of West Florida, where I did my business degree, and the faculty, the department chair, everybody that I worked with were very supportive of my journey. I did have to do a lot of prereq courses because I did not have that bachelor's degree.
Mm.
But again, my advisor helped me to take them more quickly. Like while everybody was on Christmas break, I was taking courses in school. While everybody was on summer break, I was taking courses still to help me get on the same page as everybody else in the program.
So I think many questions that we got from our listeners, it was about how did you manage to, pay that tuition and fee? Was it really high? How did you manage that part?
Yes, so as an international in any field, the tuition is always higher because most of the schools usually have an in-state tuition for people who graduated from the same state, and then an out-of-state tuition, and then an international tuition, which is the most expensive. But luckily, I was able to get employed by the school in my first semester as the assistant for the department chair, and that position included kind of a scholarship where I would not only get my international tuition completely waived, I would also have to pay only half of the in state tuition.
Mm.
On top of that, I got some other scholarships because of my GPA, and I also get paid in that position. So, all in all, I guess I paid like maybe $5,000, where
Oh,
if I
wow.
didn't have this position, I would have to pay $40,000. So, that helped tremendously.
Wow, yeah, such a big wow. So, do you know if all master's programs they would offer such positions to help students to cover their,
I,
out-of-state tuition or something?
yeah, I believe that most schools do have similar programs, but the conditions and the eligibilities might be different from school to school. I would say if anyone is interested in doing a master's degree or is thinking about it, any type of master's, to reach out to several schools in the states that they're interested in moving to and talk to their graduate advisors. They really helped you. Like when I was still not even in the US, I had not even started the visa process or the application process. The advisor at the school explained everything to me. She said, yeah, there's a high chance that you will get employed by the school because you have high GPA, things like that. These are the things you need to be prepared for. So just reach out to the schools and they'll be more than happy to explain everything to you.
Yeah, exactly. I can remember during my applying time, because I was on my visa, and and some schools they would not accept students and
Yeah,
applicants on visa, and I couldn't find in their website, so I was just emailing them, and luckily all of them I think responded just about in 1 day. So if you're not sure about something, just email them, ask them, and they would be more than happy to help you. Even
exactly.
there is some mindset that people say, okay, a lot of schools would not tell you they would not accept on visa, but actually I think all schools that I heard about that rumor that they would not accept the students on visa, they emailed me and told me no, actually based on the rule of, I don't know, state and something, because peds are paid, so the state is going to pay you, so they have a rule and requirement of having like green card or be a citizen. So they emailed me and I didn't apply, so I saved my money. And back to your story, After doing your MBA, or actually during your MBA program, how did the journey progress, and what did you do? When did you do your IMBD, TOEFL, or those requirements?
Yeah, so I moved to the US to start my MBA. I actually started my MBA like a month later than everybody else because I had some visa issues. I was stuck in the clearance process, as we all know how that can be. So while I started my MBA and I was doing all those prereqs on like a fast track process, I had to also study for my IMBD. My IMBD was like 2 months after I started my MBA degree. So I had my midterms and finals, and I was studying and working in the school, but I also had to study for my IMBD exam. So it was definitely a very challenging time. A lot of times in the library, studying till midnight, and then I had to take TOEFL again because my previous TOEFL had expired. So I did that about like 4 months after starting my MBA program. I was so happy when I got the 120. I could not believe it.
I can remember that time.
Okay. I was not expecting that, but definitely that gave me the energy boost that I needed to keep working hard and keep moving forward with my goal. At the same time that I was doing my MBA, I obviously started the application process for PASS. My top choice was the AGD program at UConn. I had heard so many amazing comments about the program and all the people there. So I started working on my CV, taking related courses, doing experiences like shadowing the same way that you did, preparing my SOP, my CV, asking for recommendation letters to make sure that I have a strong foundation to start the application cycle. And then the months after, as you know, are very, very stressful. You're just sitting behind your computer waiting for that interview letter or acceptance letter, whatever it may be, but you just have to wait. And I didn't know what was going to happen for like almost 9 months because the results come in January and the application cycle starts in May for pass, and for cap it starts in March. But I finally matched into the UConn AGD program, and that was the dream come true for me at that point. Yeah.
Wow, so you had a really good match there too. So
Yeah.
tell me more about AGD, because I know a lot of our audience and listeners, they don't know actually what is AGD, and how did you decide that, okay, I want to do AGD residency? Or why, I was just thinking,
Yeah.
so how did you select that you want to do residency straightforward without doing international program that is about 2 or 2 years for international dentists to work, to get the permit and license to work in the US?
True. So my first reason was that I wanted to learn more. So in AGD, you get to do a lot more complex cases compared to an IDP. If anybody's not familiar with IDP, it's the International Dentist Program, also called the Advanced Standing Program. It's called different from school to school. And AGD is very clinically focused. We work full time in the clinic, just like a private practice. So it helps build your confidence greatly. Also, general dentistry for me was the foundation of dentistry, and I love doing a variety of procedures. So I did not want to do a different specialty. I wanted to stay a general dentist, but I wanted to also learn more. Also, international residents have a stipend at
Yeah.
UConn, which is unheard of because it's the only AGD program in the whole US who offers a stipend to international residents as well.
Yeah. Okay. What is the catch? Why don't all international students do an AGD in UConn? Because you are telling all those good things and pros for that.
Well, there are definitely drawbacks as well. I would say the biggest one is that after you graduate from an AGD program, you're not allowed to work in every single state. There are about 12 states that permit international dentists to practice with only an AGD certificate and without going back to like dental school, going back to D3 and D4 to get an American DDS. Another reason is that many international dentists will don't feel comfortable going into a residency straight coming from their dental school where they haven't maybe had enough clinical experience. So they would like to do the D3 and D4 to get more familiar with the US ways, I guess, before starting to actually practice as a clinician.
No, that's so true. So I really love listening to Journey. There were many things that I didn't know, and it was kind of inspiring for me to do more hard work. And I was just thinking, what is the one tip that you want to tell international students? If they move to US or they want to move to US, they're just thinking about the journey and anything.
So I feel like we touched on this a little bit while we were talking, but my one tip would be to not give up. Like it's a hard journey, it requires a lot of patience, a lot of hard work. But if you put in the work, it definitely pays off. It took me 2 years to come to the US. I had a lot of issues with clearance processes. I lost one admission because of a clearance process. So I'm definitely not unfamiliar with how that process can fail you sometimes and how much patience you need to have. And it took me 2 other years to get into my favorite program in the US. So just choose your end goal carefully, plan for it, and just to stick to it.
No, that's so true. So I think now it's early March. Application will start, I think, in 2 weeks or something for
Yeah.
CAPI, and after I think 1 month or something, past cycle for residency will start. I know there are a lot of people who want to know more about how to improve their CV, their application, how to get interviews, how to manage their SOP or CV to get interviews. And we wanted to tell you, if you're looking forward to get some advice or more tips about that, we are going to share essential tips about how to elevate your profile and your CV throughout the application process in our next episodes.
Yes, I'm so excited for that episode. We're going to be giving out 24 amazing tips because we are in 2024 to help you succeed in the application process in this year. But Rata, before we leave, what is your one thing that you wish you knew before you started your journey?
So the time that I was applying, I think I can remember the time that I was actually checking Match website, and I saw that I think it was last year, something like last year, that just 24 international dentists got matched to pediatric dentistry. And I was like, oh my God, you have to, there are just 24 spots and you have to compete for that. But then I realized it's not a competition. I was working in a lab, and three of us, we were applying for pediatric dentistry, and two of us got matched. And during that process, I understood it's not a competition. It's just, helping each other to know more, because I got accepted to Loma Linda and I got interview from Rutgers. There were two universities that before applying, I was like, no, these two schools, they would not give me any interviews. But actually, they did. And I got matched to, Loma Linda, the thing that I was like, no, they won't like me. You cannot, you should not think, okay, they won't like me. They would not give me interviews by just your feelings and even sometimes the things that you would hear from people. But you have to try, you have to apply, and then you would see what are the results.
Exactly. Don't make decisions on behalf of other people. Do
Yeah,
your thing and let them be the judge of you and your work.
exactly.
All right. Are you ready to get out?
Yeah, of course. And just stay tuned for our next episode to know more about how should you elevate your application.
Okay. See you in the next episode.